Shalom, everybody. This is Sapore Abreem, the artistic director and video director and every director and editor at artisticministry.net, wearing all hats. And I thank you for joining me for this commentary on a postcard for TI, how to keep the wolves from the door. Let me just get a few things out of the way. First off, I want to apologize in advance. I live down the street and around the corner from a fire station on one end, and the other end of the block there is a huge construction site. They're building some type of I think it's going to be an apartment building, and so and also there are some different colorful people who like to wander through the street here. Loud music, a lot of activity. And so at any given moment of the day, there can be a cacophony of sirens, music, arguing, yelling, loud engines, clattering, megaphones, so forth and so on. And I try to edit it out, but sometimes it's not possible. And so I apologize if there's any disturbing or annoying noises that might drown out my voice or whatever. I apologize for that. And also this video, because I'm doing a commentary and I want to take my time and try to cover as much as possible. If the video does appear to be moving slower, that's because it is. I've slowed down the playback, the duration, to give me a bit more time. So you're not hallucinating, that it's actually happening. But just with that in mind, I'll just let that be the lead into the commentary. I'm doing this commentary because I just felt that there was a lot. This was a very meaty, emotionally, in terms of feelings. It was a very very heavy, dense topic. Keeping the wolves from the door, meaning the door to one's heart, and wolves are predators. Wolves are in their natural environment, what they do, how they live, how they feed. There is nothing wrong with that. It is the way the Most High created them, and they do what they do. They provide a balance in the ecosphere, and there's no problem with that. But in terms of the using it as a metaphor for the witch stalkers and the gang stalkers who are hunting us, who are tormenting us, who are doing everything in their power to destroy us, that is deadly. They are predators. They are vicious. They are without remorse, and they come at us from every level possible, 24/7. There is no rest for them. They don't take holidays. Any of us who thought that maybe they were during this the different pandemics, some of the different crises that have been happening on the global stage, and even in our own personal lives, the idea that maybe they would, relent and, stop and take a rest. I don't think that that's happened. If anything, as I've been sharing, some of mine has increased. And so to refer to them as wolves, I'm sure we all understand that can definitely be an appropriate metaphor for them. We are in a fiery trial. They are, what they're doing, the tactics that they are doing, those are the flames that the Most High is using to help mold us, to burn away those impurities, those flaws, those sins, those vulnerabilities that keep us from being that new creature in the good news, in the gospel, that the Most High saw in us and ordained us to be from the foundation of the world. And that is the Apostle the Apostle Peter, when referring to the fiery trial, the fire that he was referring to was the fire that's used to melt precious metals, to get them so hot that they melt, turn into liquid, and all those impurities, all those pebbles, all those grains of sand and dirt they come to the top, they're wiped off, and what's left is this pure, rare, refined gold, refined silver, brass, that you can't even put a price on. That's how rare and precious it is. That's what we are. And Unfortunately, one of the tactics that these gang stalkers and witch stalkers use is isolation. And to achieve that, they will lie on us, they will defame us, they lie and defame us to our friends, to our loved ones. And when that doesn't work, they will go after them. They will create so much pressure and so much problems in their lives and make it so that it's centered around us, that a lot of them turn away from us. A lot of them push us away, and that is hurtful. And that is the most, that can be one of the hardest parts about this, because we know that we human beings, we are social creatures. We need that companionship on a certain level. We need to have someone. I mean, it contributes to our sense of self. It contributes to our inner peace on a lot of levels. And to have that taken away can be really devastating. And that, along with a lot of the other tactics that they do, is what helps bring about the demise of many targeted individuals. And so we have to find ways to handle that. And so that's why that's the title, Keep the Wolves from the door of our heart. And also what's a lot for many of us, what's right behind that door that's between us and the wolves, a lot of times it's our friends, it's our families, to keep the wolves from them. And one of the ways that we can keep the wolves from them is by moving ourselves away from those people that we care about, so that they don't become targets themselves, because that stuff, it spills over. And so I wanted to say all that, and more that I'm going to say, but I couldn't do it in that time period that I gave myself for the videos, because the idea is to keep the videos brief and short, because just the lifestyle that a lot of us have, where we're working and we're burning candles at both ends. We're just, when we're on YouTube, when we're on the internet, a lot of times we're zipping through, we're watching a snippet of a video here or there of something that might be interesting, that might be a little longer. We put it in the to watch later list, or we put it in one of our playlists with the idea of going back. And so we really don't have time to really sit down and watch a 10-minute video, a 15, 20, 30-minute video all the way through all the time. And so I decided that I wanted to keep these as brief as possible. And unfortunately, because this is such a dense topic and it's so emotional, and there were things that I wanted to say but I couldn't, and so, which is why I'm going back and doing this commentary, because I felt also that there were things that were said that maybe they weren't clarified enough, and it would be easy to misconstrue them. Because I realized with some of the things that I'm talking about, the approach that I am taking to dealing with the witch stalking and the gang stalking, for some people it might make me suspect, where it's just so weird, or it's so different, or it's so out there, or it's just so controversial, or just so almost negative in and of itself. The idea of forgiving someone who has destroyed our lives, who is working to destroy our lives, to hurt our friends, to maybe even destroy them, the idea of forgiving them, that's a hard one. Some people are not in that place. The bitterness and anger that a lot of us have towards someone who has done something to us that we can't get at, the idea of letting that person go and forgiving them and just moving on, that's a hard one to do, yet it's necessary. And so those ideas like that, can, in some people's minds, I'm sure it makes me suspect. And here I am with another one saying, one of the points that I wanted to clarify on was, there was a point where I said, we accept the isolation. And what I wanted to clarify was not meaning we accept what these people are doing in the sense of agreement, because that is one of the connotations or synonyms that can go with the word accept or acceptance. Not in that regard, but some of the other synonyms for acceptance are to recognize. Okay, accept in the sense that we recognize what they're doing and the consequences. We accept the consequences in the sense that we recognize the consequences of what they're doing, the gaslighting, the defamation of character, everything that they're doing, and doing it to our friends, pretending, coming over to our grandparents' house and pretending to be police officers, coming to a social worker and telling them that that they are an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend and that we've been stalking them, telling a coworker, that they heard that we're being investigated for being involved in a child pornography ring or pedophilia or that we're involved, in drug trafficking or something crazy, something so disgusting that our friends and family start to turn on us and don't want us around. Or maybe they defend us and start checking out these individuals who are messing with us. And then, of course, they find themselves all of a sudden in the crosshairs as well. And so we are left with the choice of how do we deal with this? We recognize what it is that they're doing. Okay, so so I used the word acceptance, but maybe it would have been better to have used the word recognize. But because we recognize this, one of the things that we do, another word that's synonymous with acceptance, is tolerate. We tolerate this. We don't like it, but we have to tolerate it because the way there are few ways to get these people out of our lives because they are so tenacious. They are like slugs on a pig's belly. It's hard to get rid of them. It's hard to stop this, and it spreads. And so we have to tolerate it. And we tolerate it also because we don't want to give them what they want. We don't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing us break, of seeing us just, fall down into the depths of alcoholism or despair or depression. And so we tolerate that. So that's another word that is synonymous with acceptance. That's, if you look in the thesaurus, that's one of the words that's there as a synonym for acceptance, is tolerance. Or suffer. When we suffer through something, that's another word that is listed as being a synonym for acceptance, is when we suffer through this. We endure this, we tolerate this because our choices on how to stop it, to thwart it, are limited or non-existent. And so we have to find another way. And for us, with the Most High, I believe, for the righteous who are in this fiery trial, He knows that what we're going to finally turn to is Him. He becomes our refuge, which is what He wants, which is He knows that it's going to drive us to Him. And that's what He wants. He wants us to cling to Him. And that is, lo and behold, that is what happens for us. And in that regard, He uses the wicked to do that. And there's a verse I mentioned it a lot, but I found it and I wanted to put it in here because I know sometimes in these commentaries because they're so brief, I don't really have time to really do a lot of add a lot of scriptures. But here's one. It's Psalm number 37. Psalm 37, and it's verses 12 through 13. He says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The master shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The Most High shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." He laughs at the wicked because he understands that that it's actually the wicked who is being used. And the satisfaction and glee that they think they're getting out of seeing us down and out and destitute and lonely is not really what's happening. And through the light of the Messiah, which shines through our minds and lets us see from a different perspective, one of the things that happened for me, at least, and I'm going to share this jewel with you, and that is I learned that there is a difference between loneliness and solitude. When we are looking at this from they're isolating me and they've got me in a place where I'm lonely, I don't have anyone to talk to, no one understands me, there's no one can see what it is that I'm dealing with. They don't see these people, how they're color coding me. They don't catch it that they are defaming me. They can't fathom that the person who showed up at the door with a business card saying that they are a social worker, they can't get it that that person probably went to Kinko's 2 or 3 days or maybe even a week before and had a bunch of copies made. They don't think that way. And so that puts us in a place of loneliness, and loneliness is an empty place, and the pain and everything, it's there's an echo there, and it's an echo that can't be silenced. That's loneliness. Solitude, on the other hand, is very peaceful, and it's very serene, and it's a wide place, and there is a wealth of just everything at our fingertips if you have the imagination and the understanding. And that's what the witch stalkers and the gang stalkers don't see. They don't see that there is a difference between solitude, and the Most High will, through the Holy Spirit, will show the righteous that place of solitude, and that is what makes it possible to suffer through. And some of the suffering, that is an appropriate word, because it hurts to willingly choose to let go of a loved one. It hurts, but when we let them go, we know if that person is a good person, and if they are on the path to the kingdom, and if we are also, we will see them again. We have to, this is the type of situation that, along with the solitude, is salvation, is eternity. We start to think in terms of eternity, because what's here right now is so hard and so difficult. We have to, our spirit longs for something else, grasps for something else, gets it that there has to be more. This situation that we're in, with these wicked people running the world, the scriptures say that the world has been given into the hands of the wicked. This situation, this cannot be forever. This cannot be the end all be all. We know that it's not, and we start to sense that. That's part of that openness. That's part of that solitude. There's even a sense of peace in the word solitude, but that's what we start to feel that and to sense that, and we cling to that, and we can place our friends there. We can place those loved ones, that ex-lover or that potential lover that we let go of. We can place them there, knowing that if they are righteous and if we are righteous, that we will get that crown of life and we will see each other again. And we start to think about things like life and eternity, and we start to see, when we look at what the John the Revelator, what Jeremiah, what Isaiah, what they saw in eternity, they saw so much destruction of the wicked that the few who get life is going to be so rare that to even possess it is going to be almost as if one has a crown. Life itself will be a crown because it will be so rare, but we can get that. And we want that, and we're going to do everything we can to get it, because what we're dealing with now, we don't want to deal with this forever. I do not want to spend my eternity, my forever, living this way again. So I'm going to, if it means letting go of people and seeing them again, hoping to see them again, then I'm going to do that. If it means letting go of these people who, in the end, who joined in with the gang stalkers, who co-signed and fell victim to the defamation of character and the gaslighting, then I let go of them too. That's acceptance, and that's what I wanted to say, and I hope I've done so. I hope that this commentary has helped, and okay, with that I say shalom.